again. Hello, and welcome to the F the Glitter podcast, the podcast that is centered around highlighting women of color in the world of graphic design, brand strategy, marketing strategy, and public relations. I am your host, Ashley of A. Louise Creative, and today I have the honor of having Miss Camille Davis as a guest with us. Camille is the owner of a Montage PR located in Washington, D.C. For those of you that don't know, I'm a DMV native, so to have somebody from home is like, yes! So Camille, please tell us about you, your business, and how awesome you are.
Thank you so much. And I love that you just keep putting those positive words out there and telling me how awesome I am. We need more sisters like you. So thank you just for that. But I do want to say that, well, first of all, as you said, my name is Camille Davis, and I have this amazing business and brand, Montage Public Relations. Montage PR is what I'm mostly known as. And I've been in business since 2010.
Wow.
I'd like to say that recently, I'm more so a thought influencer because I have the ability to change the perception of the public towards my clients' images, towards their brands. I get to form those opinions for them in their mind, strategically, of course. So every day I'm creating tactics and rationale to why my client should be, front and center in whatever niche they have or whatever market they're trying to target. It's my job to make sure that I'm conveying the messages that they want to their public. A lot of people may have a brand or a product, or they may even be a public figure themselves. However, they don't know how to communicate. What is it that you actually do? What is it that I value as an organization? What do I want from my customers? So that's my job essentially, to connect you with the public.
Okay, so if I want to get on the news, or if I need to figure out how to make it to that next step of being known, and you the person I need to talk to.
For sure.
Okay, y'all remember that now. When you're trying to get found, you need to talk to Camille. That's what she's here for. Okay, cool. So when did you know that you wanted to be in this particular industry?
I would say that it came around maybe my end of junior year, going into senior year of high school. So what is interesting, and I've never shared this story with anybody. My junior year, I attended St. John's. I'm not sure, since you're from the area, St. John's College High School on Military Road in DC. That was my school. I've been in private school all my life. Okay. So I reached out to Spelman my junior year. Let them know that was the only option for me. I only wanted to go to Spelman. You know what they told me? Holla at us next year. What school does that to a budding, excited, teenager
that got options?
Does that? Why not use that as an opportunity to say, hey, come visit us. Even send me a shirt, a sweatshirt, to establish that brand loyalty, right? Ever since then, lost total respect for Spelman.
Wow.
My junior year, that summer, going into my senior year, I had the opportunity to go to Penn State. Never even thought of Penn State as an option. I went there for a multicultural journalism workshop because I knew that I had strong writing skills. At this point, I didn't know what I was going to do. I always thought, hey, I'll be a lawyer because, growing up, your parents are like, are you going to be a doctor? You're going to be a lawyer. They want you to be the best, And at that time, those were the only people that were really making the money, So I was like, okay, I'll just be a lawyer. So no real love for law. But again, I knew that I was a strong writer. So I went to this journalism workshop, loved it. It was natural. I'm a people person. I love to talk to people. I love to interview people. I had the opportunity to be man on the street. I had a beat where I was reporting stories. I actually got to put together my first newspaper when I was in high school. However, what it also taught me were the many fields in communications, that it was more than just writing, that I could do advertising, that I could do mass media, it opened me to this world of public relations that was all encompassing of all those things. So I was like, why limit myself when I can just do PR and I can still have that public speaking aspect? I could still write. That was kind of my world. And I was already good at kind of promoting people. I would like to kind of think that people kind of sent to me, you know. My God, I don't know why, but every relationship that I've been in, every friendship, I've always been that one, encouraging people, promoting them, you know, telling them that they need to level up and this is what you need to do next. So it kind of just came naturally to me as being a people person. Why wouldn't I do public relations? So I went to college with a clear idea and path of what I wanted to do. I knew what my major was going to be. And it just kind of happened from there. However, I never knew what entrepreneurship was like until after I graduated. Never knew what that world was because, again, I was conditioned to think that
you got to get a job.
Be a president, be the president of the United States, be a lawyer, be a doctor. I never had those mom and pop business owners to look up to. I never had to run a family business. So I never understood that, hey, I can do that too. It was only until I came out of college in 2007, there were no jobs. It was in the middle of a recession. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll go to grad school. You know, what else was a necessary step? I never even thought about, you know, school past college. College was a major accomplishment for me, but why not? Let's continue my education. So I came back home. I went to GW. I thought that I was going to kind of tailor my path in public relations to find out, okay, do I want to do sports public relations? Do I want to do entertainment? Do I want to do public affairs? What type of PR do I want to do? I still couldn't figure it out because I really had so many different lanes: entertainment, tourism, beauty. I had already started, you know, representing a rapper at the time. I was already planning events for my church on the nonprofit side. So rather than limit myself, I said, I'm a montage. I'm a montage of all of these things. And kind of just where montage public relations came from. And rather than, you know, limiting myself and being this, you know, jack of all trades, but master of none, I didn't let that discourage me.
Okay, that's what's up. You know what? You are the one person giving the most thorough answer.
Oh, like, thank you. I was hoping I wasn't taking too much time.
Nah, hunty, we good. That's too bad you didn't end up going to the AUC because I went to Clark. Because when you said spam, I was like, oh, she ended up in the AUC too. And it's like, no,
and I feel
you should have came to Clark.
I feel like I want that. I want that. Like, I love community. And I feel like I messed up or missed out by not having that HBCU experience because I see the relationships that people were able to make and how it's benefiting them years down the road. And it's like, dang, I wish I wanted that. How much did Penn State really do for me to be on my resume?
Well,
not much.
You making your money though, right?
Yeah, well, that's true. Difficult, and that's what a lot of people don't realize is it's difficult being an entrepreneur. I literally have to sit here and pound the pavement for every single dollar that comes into my business.
If you don't work, you don't eat. And I think a lot of people miss that. They're like, well, no, I don't think a lot of people miss that. I think a lot of people, what happens is we get caught up in seeing the glamour of, you know, all these 6-7 figure coaches and all these, you know, oh yeah, I made $1 million, da 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 da. Okay, so when you look at the business, the money part of it, yeah, your business made $1 million, but how was that broken down? That wasn't $1 million in your pocket. That was $1 million in revenue, but that's not profit. That's not your expenses. That's not advertising. That's not your taxes for that $1 million. That's not your self-employment tax. That's not your payroll. I mean, you look like what it was $1 million, yeah, but that wasn't broken down like that. And so when it comes to working for yourself, you got to be an accountant at least for the first 6 months. You got to figure out like how this is supposed to spread because you can't just like, oh yeah, I made $500. Great. So really you only made like $50 because after you pay the light bill and
absolutely.
So PR. Okay, so this is like really exciting because everybody that I've talked to so far is like, I'm a creative, but I'm a designer. I'm a designer first and then a brand strategist, marketing strategist. But like, you're a PR and like PR is like, you talk to the people. So like, what's your favorite type of client to work with? Like, which one like really gets you like, yeah, we gonna do this?
I want to say My favorite type of client is the one that realizes that I'm an expert in my own right and that's willing to just sit back and let me put together a plan for us to follow. A lot of clients, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there are some clients who, no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not interested in that. Well, what did you hire me for? You know, I need you to trust that I built relationships in the industry, that I know what it takes to get you on the news. I know what it takes to, you know, get brands to write about you. I know what reporters are looking for. So when someone kind of tries to come in and they want to manage the program, that's where it's kind of a hassle, you know, and it's never really worth it at the end of the day. I also have a lot of clients that try to micromanage me. So if you're, the reason I don't have a 9-to-5 or a boss is because I don't do micromanaging. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I would say the perfect client is one that just, not necessarily, I'm not saying sit back and just let someone do what they want with your business, but realize that I have your best interest in mind. Realize that I'm only going to, you know, I'm going to do my best. As if your business is my baby, I'm going to coddle it. I only want the best for you. And I think that people need to understand that. But it's difficult because a lot of people may have been burned by previous publicists. So they may be skeptical or hesitant. So it's a lot of, you know, work that we have to do, a lot of relationship building that we have to do. But essentially at the end of the day, I just want to work. And if people just want to see themselves thrive and they want somebody that's really going to come in and build their brand from the ground up, that is the perfect client, you know?
Got you. Totally. So like, because you're not, are you a designer? Do you design or are you mostly relationships?
I would like to just stay in my lane.
Okay.
I don't want to claim that I'm anything you know, a public relations manager or publicist. I dip and dabble in Canva or Adobe InDesign or Illustrator, but I really don't want to.
That's not your thing.
Yeah, no, I'm in a position where I want to grow. And in order for me to do that, I have to be able to delegate. I can't be a one-man show. I really just want to stay in my lane. But I have the opportunity to outsource to other professionals like yourself and help build your business as well.
Gotcha. So how would you describe your style? Like when you, like, I know you just said you're montage, you're multifaceted. You can go over here, go over there, go over there. And I noticed that when your Zoom came on, your montage was in different colors, and I see that you have the different colors on your outfit. So like, how would you describe your style? Like your overall style, when somebody meets you, like what would they expect? And like when your personal style, like when they, you know, it's like, okay, we about to work with Camille. Like when you come up in there, like what's the vibe that's kind of laid down for when they come to see you?
So I don't know how to talk to about myself, and I don't want this to come off in a funny way, but
this is where
I will
you toot your horn. This is where you toot your horn.
Yeah, thank you. But I'm glad that you asked me that because I feel like I used to have this light about me. When I would come into a room, it was like everybody was looking. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm so tall. I'm 5'11", so it's like I would command everybody's attention, but I don't want attention. That's why probably I'm in public relations, because I want to be the woman behind the woman. You know what I mean? I want to be behind the scenes, but I don't know what it is that I feel like I've kind of dimmed my own light in that way. I would say that I have a presence when any room that I come into, but I've kind of like sunken. You know what I mean? I kind of try to hide from it. And I'm a little disappointed in myself for that. I think, and it wasn't until I actually had a tarot card reading recently that a woman told me that it's time for me to step into my true power, that I have the opportunity to propel. And she saw it in the card that I was bringing up a whole group and community of women and encouraging them to step into their power as well. That was amazing to me that I had that. And I'm like, Dad, imagine if I had stepped into my light back then, years ago. you know? But that's one thing that I do want to tell people. When you get me, Montage PR, you're getting a ball of fire. You're getting passion. You're getting someone, just like I'm communicating now, this is how passionate I am about all of the brands that I represent. And I think that you want somebody on your side, you know, that when you're not present, they're going to be able to communicate about your business and your messages just as well as you would. So I want people to know that that's what you get from Montage PR, not just somebody who's looking at it from a check, but somebody who's really like invested in you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So what would you say was the most important step that you took when you started out? Like what would you say was one of those things that like actually not even defined it, but was very important that you realized like, dang, I'm glad I did that, you know, when you first started out. So if somebody was looking to do it, you know, they can put that in the back of their mind.
The most important, I would say, is establishing that foundation for my business. I'm glad that I had someone, and I will say in my immediate, you know, family, my sister is a CPA. So she luckily was there to do that accounting for me. She was there to help me, put me on the right path and tell me what it was that I needed to start a business. Because again, I didn't take business management. I don't know QuickBooks. I don't know, you know what I mean? That wasn't my lane. I never envisioned having my own business. So my sister has about 5 degrees. You know, they're all in business. So I'm glad that I had that person that I could lean on that was going to guide me in the right path. You need to get incorporated. It's going to cost this much. This is how much it is for your corporate seal. You know, this is how you take, you know, minutes for your meetings. This is how you sell portions of your business. You know, this is the difference between a sole proprietor or, you know, a LLC or Inc. or, you know, what have you. I'm glad that I was able to be legitimate, that I got my business registered and licensed. That's so important because I would hate for somebody to go out and start building their brand and let somebody else just snatch it from under them.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's the main thing that I want to convey to people. You know, a lot of people may be a hustler, or they might throw up an Instagram page and start selling products immediately. People will steal your ideas so quickly. You have to protect yourself.
So do you find that not only are you representing brands, but that like you end up helping them like fix the cracks that they didn't take care of? Like, you know, like sometimes when I come in, I come in here, but actually I got to go way back down here and build the foundation for the house, because it's like you built this house on air. Like, what is this? You know? Yes. And so like sometimes I find that I'm coaching people in just the, you know, hey, are you filed with the state yet? Like, you know, because in order for us to get this, and this, you know, we got to make sure that I got these numbers. I need to be able to, you know, put in these licenses and things. Like, do you have this? And they're like, huh, what? So like, do you find that when, especially with newer customers, newer clients, that you have to kind of build the foundation, like put some stone down first before you actually start, you know, representing them?
Absolutely. I would say 80% of businesses that come to me don't have that foundation in place. And that's the problem. Everyone sees that glitz and the glamour, and they want to be on the news and they want to be famous. It's all about, everyone wants to be a celebrity. However, are you set up properly? You know, a lot of people come to me and they don't even have their social media set up, or they have 5 different social media handles. That drives me crazy. All different. You know, I literally have to say, okay, let's reel it back in, because consistency is key. I literally may have to go there and make, you know, instead of Camille Davis on Instagram and Montage Public Relations on Twitter and Montage PR on Facebook, I may have to clean all of that up and make sure that we're operating so where people Google you, all that they need to do is put in Montage PR and everything comes up because it's all consistent. I literally, that's one of the conversations I have the most, is about consistency. Like you said, yeah, a lot of people, they don't have that business paperwork in place. I'm not going to represent you and get sued for you. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to allow you to just use any type of color codes and not have a brand identity. You know, I'm not going to get sued if Target sues you for using their Target color red or Penn State blue. You know, people need to understand that there's a lot to building a brand, to trademarking, and to registering their products, you know? And I want to make sure that they do it in a right way, because how are you going to grow? It's no going back later.
Right. Oh, yes. Yes. So, I'm real, because like you preaching, I'm like, yes, Lord, please.
Thank you.
So, how has been, so we've been on punishment for like 10 weeks now, going on, 10 weeks. It's been about 10 weeks now. We've been on punishment, although I heard Maryland just opened up again, like they moved on to phase 5, and I don't think that's a good idea, although DC hasn't yet, right?
DC this weekend, and I'm not here for any of it. I will still be home.
So how has business been since the punishment start? I call it the punishment because everybody says quarantine, but it's been more of a suggestion than a mandate. So like, how have things been for you since then?
Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, it's been difficult.
Really?
That's the horrible part. I never prepared for a pandemic, and if this taught us anything, it's how to prepare, how to pivot, how to make sure that we have something in reserve, because in the past year, I shifted to representing only small businesses. I'm really invested in women-owned, Black-owned, brown-owned businesses because those are the people that need us the most. Those are the people who may not have a budget for public relations. And maybe that's the reason why these small businesses are failing within the first 2 to 5 years of startup. So I've really been trying to focus on them, identifying those gaps. How can we subsidize, some type of budget so that you can afford somebody like me to, promote your business and constantly keep you on the mind of your customer. But unfortunately, with small businesses, public relations is the first to go. With all of my clients, most of them had to shut down. They can't afford to pay me or to, to continue on with public relations. Or if their business is on standstill, why do they need PR at this time? So that was real for me. I literally got down to 0 on my client list, and I had to rebuild from the bottom because of the pandemic. But I will say, on the positive side, the pandemic has allowed me the opportunity to pour into myself. I've been freelancing, getting out there, practicing more of my writing. I can't just sit here and wait for the pandemic to be over. No, I still need to keep my writing fresh. I've been using this opportunity to do a little bit of self-care, on myself. But also, most importantly, I've been using the opportunity to build my profile. So I've been doing a lot of interviews, like, this platform right here, getting the message out about what it is that I do, making myself a face so that people can relate to me, you know what I mean? And I can share my story. So I'm just so proud of those opportunities that I've been able to share my story. And I think in that I'm able to kind of resonate with people, and connect in a different way.
So in other words, you're finally getting the time to let your light shine, huh?
Finally. So maybe, things happen for a reason, right?
Yeah, I would say that. So, so what would you say helped you the most with like honing in on your niche? I know this wasn't on the outline, but like what helped you the most with like kind of honing in? Like I know you said you just recently decided you were going to do small businesses, and you explained why, but like before, what sphere were you in, and like what made it resonate with you the most?
Yeah, I guess before this, I was all about representing celebrities or known brands, because in order to get myself known, I had to have that clout, I had to have those notches on my belt, because unfortunately, that's the first thing that people ask you: what celebrity have you represented? And that's the superficial world that we live in. Unfortunately, it's not about the good work that you do. The fact that I had an award-winning PR campaign at Rowan University, they don't ask that. They want to know, can you get me in, such and such?
Can I get on the radio? I'm trying to get on the radio. Wait.
Right. So, that's been, the biggest hurdle for me, is trying to establish, what do I want to be known for? And I don't think that it was until the death of Nipsey Hussle last March that I really sat back and realized, like, what's my contribution? What at the end of the day, what's going to be my legacy? What am I leaving behind? And yeah, I could pass my business on to my son, but what impact am I making on society and my local community? And you being from the DMV, you know how important it is for small businesses to sustain themselves in this area. You know, we're being heavily gentrified at this moment. And
Yes,
those
Lord.
small businesses, the Asian community, the, you know, Black owned businesses, the brown owned businesses, they're being forced out
Yeah,
just
for
to
the
build up
yuppies.
condominiums. It's so important that we invest in these people because they make our communities thrive. They bring the culture, you know? So that's just been my commitment. Like, I really applaud Nipsey for what he was doing in his community. And I didn't even know that man, but his death really like affected me.
A lot of people.
It
Yeah.
really affected me, but
That's funny.
it inspired me as well. So that's why I'm committed to being here for small business owners, particularly in my area.
That's interesting because when I moved from the DC area and I went to school, I went to Clark, and around that time, that's kind of when all of that started back in 2004. And I remember someone saying, yeah, it's not Chocolate City no more. It's going to be Chocolate Vanilla Swirl. And I was like, what? Like, are you serious? And that's a lot of what's happening. My dad has been an entrepreneur for as long as as long as I know. He's been, you know, he had his day job, but then he had his side hustle that he was always doing. And I'm like, part of the reason why I became an entrepreneur is because I always knew I was going to own my own business. Yeah, I saw him working all night, but that's all I saw. I didn't know nothing about how to run a business, but I knew that it was like, okay, this is it, you know, like, I'm not finna be working for nobody forever. Like, I can't do that. Yeah. So, and even my personality, I will work with you, but I can't work for you forever. Like, I can't do that. So I totally feel, you know, like I see the contrast, but I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can feel like I ain't know nothing about running a business until I got out there and they were like, yeah, so you have this. And I was like, what? What's that? Where do I get it? You know, where should I go? And I found out, you know, through trial and error. You know, when I was in Atlanta and I was trying to file, you know, I was trying to get a storefront. I was trying to get a storefront. I ain't know. I just knew I want a store. I want a place where people can find me. And they were like, well, are you registered? And I was like, am I what? And so, and so when I was calling around to figure out what to do, that's when I found out, well, you need to register with the state for this, and you need to call the city, make sure you got your license for this, and you need to be
insurance and
what? And I was like, okay, that's not my life. Like, I don't want a storefront no more. I'll just work at my house. I don't want to do that no more. I don't want it.
That's funny.
So that kind of brings us back down to, like, what, for someone who is looking for your experience, for your service, for a person, a customer, for a new client, what is some advice you would give to them when they're looking for a professional that has your skill set? What should they do when vetting a professional, when looking for you? What should they be? What should they think about?
Well, number one, you have to have a budget. You know, a lot of people want to pick your brain. They want to ask you questions, or, you know, how did you get started? Like, I don't mind pulling other people up as I rise, you know, because I feel like we have the responsibility to do so. However, I think that people need to also value the expertise, you know? So if you're I think that someone like me finds somebody really serious when they come to them and they say, how can I book a consultation? And it's not even about the money for me, because for me, I charge $150 for an hour consultation. But if you sign up for my services, I take that $150 off your first month's retainer. It's literally about having to protect myself, my time, my mind, my ideas. I've literally sat down and given people a whole layout. You know, we immediately start brainstorming. They write down all your ideas, they take it and they never come back and hire you. So that's the one thing that I would tell people that are looking for someone to represent them, is to value them and their time, you know, value their expertise, establish a budget. So that you can sit down with them. And I'm not saying pay 4 different 5 publicists before you decide who is right for you. Ask those questions. Ask them, do you have a background in public relations? Is it a traditional background? Do you have a degree? Or is this something that, you know, a lot of people, maybe I worked for the news, and now I started my own public relations business. So that may speak to you, because I already come with a whole pocket of, or a whole Rolodex, or a whole, you know, contact list. So maybe somebody that's in the industry is right for you. Maybe, you know, if you want to have, maybe you want to, you know, someone to represent you that's in your own niche, you know. Some publicists only do beauty public relations. Some publicists only work with entertainment. I would say that that second thing that you're looking for is, what industry do they work in? You know, what type of clients do they represent? Those are the types of questions that you should be asking someone, not off the break, listen to my song, or, you know, I have so many people in my inbox just sending me a video, not even a hello, you know, not even trying to start a relationship with me, you
kind of
know?
rude, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know what it's about. I don't know if people just don't know what public relations is. Don't be afraid to ask. DM, those are questions you can DM somebody. Hey, what is public relations? Not what can you do for me?
Right.
But can you just tell me, what does a publicist do? And then I think that right there, going into that relationship, you'll have a clear idea and everything's on the table, you know, of what you can do for me versus what I need to do for myself. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Thank you for that, because a lot of people don't know what public relations is. And I appreciate the fact that you laid that all out when you first started. It was like, look, this is what I do. And this is why you need to hire me. Not just because I can do this for you, but this is what I do. And this is why you need me. And it's like, oh, I didn't even know it was that deep. Like, I had no idea. Like, I knew there was public relations, and I knew that I need a PR in order to get over there. Like, I knew to get from point A to point B, I need somebody in the middle to connect me. But I would have no idea that I need to look for someone who specializes in small businesses, or I need to find somebody who specializes in beauty, or I need to find somebody who specializes in entertainment. You know what I mean? I guess it makes sense, because even with design, like, some designers specifically work with nonprofits, or specifically work with, you know, beauty, specifically work with product design. You know what I mean? So I really do appreciate that you laid that all out. So there's no question. So one thing for sure, if you need it explained, if you need clarity, you need to speak with Camille, because she gonna lay it out for you. So there's no question where your money going. So with that, we have moved on to the fun part, the random questions.
Okay.
Like I've said before, I want this to become not just a place for us to shine, but also a place where, kind of like a resource for other people who are looking for professionals with our skill sets, to have a place to find us, but also to get to know you a little bit. Because, you know, one of my philosophies is, you know, people buy from those who they feel connected with, who they feel like they know. And so in order to do that, I got to ask some personal questions. And not like extremely personal and not invasive personal, but it's so that, you know, we kind of get a feel for you, you know. So it's like, oh yeah, I like her, she like Moscato, I like Moscato, I need to talk to her, you know, that kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? So what is your favorite? I'm a foodie, so half of these questions gonna be about food, but what's your favorite style of food?
Style? I like any and all food.
Okay, but what's your favorite?
I guess seafood, I would kind of say. I guess I wish I could say Thai or Vietnamese, or no, I guess it's just seafood. I'm a surf and turf girl. I like my steak and I like my seafood.
Blue crabs. I mean, we're native. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right? Maybe it's right. It's got to be a DC thing.
How you live on the bay and you don't like scallops? Like, I mean, I don't understand. Like, it's just real. So, if you could pick any famous person from the past to spend a day with, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, that's a really good one. Should I? I mean, I never thought of that. Like, if I could get like Nipsey Hussle back, do they have to? Is this dead or alive? You said from the past.
From the past. I mean, if they was in the past but they still alive, but they just not relevant, then that works too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, clearly Nipsey Hussle, because it's like, give me some wisdom. Give me, you know what I mean? What should I do, sensei? You know?
Right.
I think that would definitely be one. But let me think.
I heard he was like really heavy into robotics too.
Really?
Like, he was big on tech. Like, he was one of those smart kids, but he was cool. And so,
That's
like,
really
one of his
cool.
initiatives was, like, bringing kids into STEM programs.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Like, when I heard that, I was like, what? Let me find out. He was a blurred. How about that? What? Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. I love, God bless the nerds, the weirdos, you know? Yes,
Yes.
for sure. I don't know. I haven't really thought of that from the past. I guess Michael Jackson. I mean, Michael Jackson was just amazing. And what he did for our culture in particular, like, I'm still amazed by him. Just this week, actually. So I don't know if you've heard the song The 2C Slide by Drake, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every time the song comes on or the video, my son's like, Michael Jackson. I was like, oh, no. I'm going to nip this in the butt, baby. I said, ain't no child of mine not going to know who Michael Jackson is. So the past, like, 2 weeks, he's been obsessed.
Really?
Back to back, Thriller, Bad, Beat It, like, learning the moves, learning the words. And I feel so proud. Like, that was, like, my Black history lesson in a sense. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think every child needs to know how great, these people were and how far they brought us.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's just amazing to me now that I get to go back and look at his videos and that he got to do this for our culture,
Right.
like, wow. Those trailblazers, like, I respect them. Any of them. Pick one. I want to sit down with one.
You know what? That is such a PR answer. That
Yeah.
is such a politically correct.
Yes.
So, do you partake in spirits and libations?
That is so funny that you would say that. I do.
Which is your cocktail of choice?
I'm about to say, what you mean?
What is your cocktail of choice? Which one do you enjoy the most?
I don't know. So I'm a wine girl, to be honest. And I only say that because, like, recently I've needed a glass of wine just to even put me to sleep. Like, I don't drink to necessarily get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Wine just makes me sleepy. So the past 3 nights, like, I was literally talking to my manager last night, like, girl, I guess I gotta go get some wine to wind down. That's my only, like, time for myself. But I wouldn't say that that's necessarily, like, my favorite. If I had to take it back, I'd say, like, a lemon drop. I used to be shotting up those lemon drops when I was in Penn State, okay?
Yes.
Red Bull and vodka girl, to be honest.
Turn up.
If you really want me to tell it all. But I think I've
Turn
calmed down a little bit now that I'm a mom.
Turn up, yes.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a brown girl because I'm trying to cut out the sugar. Mm-hmm. I'm realizing, you learn how to drink after the years. And I think the sugar is the problem for the hangovers and the getting sick. So I just eliminate it straight to the shot, cut to the chase.
Right.
Throw it back.
Do it, be done, and let's get this going. Let's get this going.
That's funny.
So you said that you write, and that's kind of like one of the things that's kind of helped you through this quarantine, like kind of like your self-care. So, like, what are some of the ways that you find that help you to pull you out of your creative funk? Like, all of us hit one. All of us hit a creative funk. So, like, what do you find that helps you kind of come up out of that?
What gets me out of it? Recently I just mentioned my manager. I literally had to bring somebody on my team, and she's the one that I call. Like, sometimes you have to do that with a colleague because sometimes your friends don't understand, Sometimes the family doesn't understand what it's like. You're creative, you have to be inspired. Some days you just aren't inspired to work. Some days, I don't want to get out of bed some days, and that's real. People don't realize that I'm in the middle. I'm getting all the no's so that my client never has to see that. I might have to send 300 pitches just to land one booking for them on the news or one interview for them. They don't see how that's affecting me mentally. I take those blocks and I take those hits that they'll never have to see, So you have to have somebody in place. Like, I have my manager when I'm just like, girl, I don't want to do this no more. She's literally had to talk me off the ledge. You have to have people like Ashley that are pouring into you before I even start a meeting and telling me how awesome and amazing I am. Because your clients are not going to tell you that. They're not going to say thank you. They're not going to be like, oh my God, you know, you saved my business. It's just not going to happen. So you have to have, you know, that support team. You have to have that somebody that kicks you in the butt. You know, sometimes we all need a little kick in the butt.
Business besties, y'all. That's what we need. Business besties.
Yeah.
So do you travel?
Unfortunately, I haven't in a while. When's the last time I even went somewhere? I can't say.
We need to fix that, ma'am. I mean, yeah, right now it's not the best time because everybody got the cooties, but we need to fix that, ma'am. We need to travel.
Whenever I traveled, it's like for work. So I can't even say the last time I had fun travel. You know, it's like if I'm going to New York because I'm planning like a fashion week event for a client, or I have stylists that I'm trying to get, you know, front row at shows. I'm never there just to have fun or go see the freaking, you know, Christmas tree lights, or I've never done that. I've never been to Junior's for a slice of cheesecake. Like, I want to do that. I know I've never been to Myrtle Beach. Like, it just doesn't make, I don't even want to tell you I've never been to Ocean City.
Well, ain't nothing in Ocean City. I mean,
okay, but I've been to Miami, but I've been there to work.
But you were working, yeah. Well, Ocean City ain't that big a deal. I mean, ain't nothing there but the boardwalk, and half of that is shut down and old and broke down, and ain't nothing in Ocean City. But okay, so we need to add that to your must-do list of 2021. You got to go somewhere, and you need to report. I'm giving you homework. You got to go somewhere and enjoy yourself. No working. Leave your laptop. You got to take your phone. Leave your laptop. Leave your computer. Just enjoy yourself.
That sounds great.
To your manager, just set yourself. I'm for real. You got to, and that goes into the self-care. Like, we work, and that's part of the reason why the podcast is called F the Glitter. Like, what we do is so unsparkly, and it's not always glamorous, and it's not always, you know, like this wonderful, beautiful. Like, no, the beautiful part is after I already sweated and got tired of looking at it and said, man, F this job. And then it was like, nah, I need this job. And, you know, coming back and, you know, getting that centered and doing all of that. And then, you know, then we don't take care of ourselves because it's like, no, I gotta work because we are entrepreneurs. And you gotta take a break. You gotta take a break. So I'm not supposed to be fussing at you.
Please.
But no, like that, add that to your list of things for Camille.
Okay.
We gotta take a trip.
I'm gonna do that.
And then
girl, the clients will be so mad. Okay, if
they will be okay.
They will be so mad.
They will be okay. Let them know at the beginning of the year that from June to whatever, you ain't gonna be available. So they need to schedule all their stuff around it because you won't be answering the phone. Or, I mean, hey, you know, we can use that time to build up a team. This day, we networking here, so you got a team of people, other folks that, you know, they communicate with, somebody who can handle the calls. You got your manager. Yes, I'm gonna edit this.
Girl, let me tell you, I even have clients like, so are you gonna be the one representing me? Or like, they don't even, I'll be like, well, I do have an intern, I have account man. No, I only want you on my business. And you just have no idea. Like, that scares me. Like, oh, you're gonna riot.
Well, we're gonna add this to our thing. We're gonna schedule some time for some serious self-care where you can be like, oh, I'm so refreshed. And
I can smell it.
On the world. Smell it. Smell it. That ocean water coming through.
Yes, it sounds so good. Okay.
Personally, I think mimosas are gross, but pina coladas are great. So just get that in your let's do it.
Oh yeah.
So see, there we go. We've had a coaching session just now. All right.
Thank you. That's hilarious. Thank you.
But with that, I need you to tell me and tell our listeners where they can find you. Where can they find Montage PR? What's your website, social media handles? What do you have coming up? Like, what's up? What do we need to know about Camille so we can send you some money? What's up?
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you. Well, I do have a website, montagepr.com, but as we were saying offline, that I haven't been the best about, working on my website because I'm so busy working on other people and investing in them that I really don't take the time to invest in myself. And when I move so quickly, it's kind of hard to go back and dig through the archives of 10 years worth of stuff, to be able to put onto a website in a couple sentences. So
Right.
that's been my struggle. I took everything down. I just put up a list of my services. And again, because most people just ask, what's your Instagram? That's the new business card. I'm not even passing out business cards anymore. When I meet people in person, what's your Instagram? They want to see you right then and there. They want to connect. They want to follow you. So that's been my best bet. And I've been telling people, I can show you better than I can tell you. So that's been kind of my, check out my Instagram for my visual story. So speaking of Instagram, you can follow me there at Montage PR as well, MONTAGEPR. I'm also on Facebook at Montage PR. I'm on Twitter at Montage PR. Pretty much, if you put in Montage PR, you are going to find me.
All right. Well, we are following right now. Do you have anything coming up? I know you said you write. Are you releasing a book or?
You know what? Where's this book? Oh, I was just starting to read this book. And this, let me just say, if you don't mind me moving off camera for 1 second.
Oh, no, you good.
We were talking about self-care. I started this yesterday. And I'm sorry that I'm using this platform to promote somebody else, but Mary Patterson is amazing. Mary Patterson authored Don't Block Your Bloom. And this is for me, y'all. It's bloom season. It's my time. I'm ready to grow and shine. So I actually opened this book yesterday and I started it, and I'm committed to just doing this for myself, even if it's just 15 minutes of a day, to work on this. So with that being said, you guys can catch me over at Women for the Culture. That's one initiative that I'm doing. And I'm highlighting women like this every single day. Women for the culture. Women that are not just entrepreneurs and starting businesses, but women who are moms and staying at home, because we can find inspiration in each of us. I think that it's all about global sisterhood at the moment. So I'm really trying to push that as much as I can. So I'm always interviewing celebrities, entrepreneurs. I host Women to Watch Wednesday over on Women for the Culture, where I show you women that, again, you need to watch, that are making headway in our culture. I'm always writing for womenfortheculture.com about entrepreneurs, about self-care, about inspiration for women, about empowerment. I'm giving business tips. So if you want to go over there for that free information and you're looking for somebody to, bring you that joy every day or help you step into your purpose, that is the outlet for you, Women for the Culture. Other than that, I'm also working on my own platform, Meet the Media, where I've been interviewing people like you, women that are behind the brands, women of color that are behind the podcast, that are producing the shows, that are booking the guests. We may see our typical news anchor, but what about the people behind the scenes, the showrunners, the executives, the VPs that are making sure that our stories are heard? So I'm particularly committed to showing all of the women of color in the media industry so that people can see that it's people like them, and they're the reasons, why I'm able to tell all of these stories. So those are kind of like my two big passions right now, and I'm super fired up. I'm gonna send you my Instagram page. I
already followed you.
Oh, yeah. I posted an advertisement, and I don't know if you're familiar with Destination DC and cultural tourism, but my graduate degree is in tourism. I have a master's of tourism administration. So the other day, somebody sent me an advertisement by Cultural Tourism and Destination DC where it said, discover the real DC. Okay. The advertisement had 3 Caucasian women in it. I was floored. And it's not even about the fact that they're Caucasian. I went to Penn State. Like, come on. Like, let's be real. I'm the most diverse of the diverse. But this really kind of disgusted me. And I was like, why am I striving towards race relations when the real state is this, that they're trying to erase us. They're trying to act like this is not, it may not be Chocolate City. It may be a melting pot, but that's not culture. So I'm committed to shutting everybody down, particularly in our area. And I am so invested in making sure that we are seen and that we are not erased from the story. So you guys follow me. I'm kind of like an activist and an advocate right now for so many different, voiceless groups. That's what's next. I wish I could say that I had an event coming up, but no, I'm still social distancing. You will not see me in public for a while, but you can definitely check me out on Instagram in particular because I'm promoting all of those different movements.
Well, that is what's up. Yes.
Thank you. I gotta be back. Legacy.
So with that, though, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you speaking with me. I appreciate you spending this time with me. It's Thursday morning, but